Once again, we welcome the presence of eminent personalities to the 7th Inaugural Lecture. This is to announce that the procession is in place, and as we requested earlier, I respectfully request that we all switch our mobile phones to silent mode. This is an academic event and it requires certain decorum. We respectfully request that your phones should be switched to silent mode. Thank you. Approaches, may I respectfully request that all mobile phones be switched to silent mode. All mobile phones, please switch to silent mode. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in. The procession in progress. led by principal officers of the university, the maize placed in its position. Principal officers, heads of departments, directors, deans, and major principal officers taking their seats. We're now receiving the procession, the registrar, and major principal officers, the Vice Chancellor, Chancellor of Baze University. Final lap of the procession brings in the registrar, the Chancellor's procession. We invite everyone to please take their positions as we remain standing for the national anthem. We all remain standing, please, for the national anthem and the university anthem. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongues may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve a sovereign monarch. University anthem.
Baze University, right in the city of unity. Raise your banner with pride and dignity over the hills, the land and sea. Driven by excellence, hard work and diligence, and our reach is high above the sky. Shine on, Baze University, ever shining as the morning sun, marching on to glory. Learn to lead and learn to live. Shine on, shine on. Baze University.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we're honored to welcome everyone on behalf of the Chancellor and founder of the University and Governing Council. I warmly welcome you to the University's 7th Professorial Inaugural Lecture. We're honored to have you with us, eminent statesmen, captains of industry, academics, traditional rulers, government officials, members of the diplomatic community, students, alumni, friends, and well-wishers of our great university. May I respectfully request that we all switch our mobile phones to silent mode, as this is an academic event and requires the decorum of an academic event. Please switch your mobile phones to silent mode. Distinguished guests, kindly join me as we go through a few recognitions. First, join me to recognize, as you know, protocol is the lubricant of every successful ceremony, and it's therefore my pleasure to recognize very, very specially here with us the founder and chancellor of Baze University, a detribalized gentleman par excellence, a patriotic Nigerian par excellence. Please a round of applause for distinguished Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, PhD, FSAN, founder, chancellor of Baze University. As you may have observed, you would have seen that the aviation school is in motion and will soon also be ready. Many thanks once again to the founder and chancellor of Baze University. Another round of applause will be appropriate. I would want to recognize the vice chancellor. He'll be recognized in his place as lecturer, but I have to recognize him as vice chancellor of Baze University, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. We have the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, Professor Osita Ogbu. We have the Registrar of the University, very distinguished, Ahmed Mahmoud Lawi. The Bossa of the University is Mrs. Juliet Omotayo Bature. The Special Advisor to the Chancellor of the University, Dalhatu Umar. We recognize the University Librarian, Dr. James Daniel. We also recognize very, very specially Dr. Mohammed Bello Waziri Dogo, Chief Medical Director, Baze University, and others, deans who are present. May I respectfully request deans to please rise for recognition. Please a round of applause for the deans of the university. I also recognize the directors of the various units and heads in the university. Please rise for recognition. We specially recognize the chairman of the Professorial Inaugural Committee, Professor Bala Mohammed. I also want to recognize heads of departments who are here. Please rise for recognition. The lecturer has specially requested that he would want to recognize the guests so there's no duplication because this is an academic event. But let me very specially welcome very distinguished guests who have joined us from all walks of life. Guests of the Chancellor, guests of the Vice Chancellor, Royal Fathers, captains of industry, you are all recognized. Please a round of applause for them. At this point, it will be important to recognize students of Baze University. We have postgraduate students in this hall. Please rise for recognition. We have undergrad students in the hall. Rise for recognition. We have staff members, both academic and non-academic in this hall. Please a round of applause for them. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this is Baze University, Abuja, Nigeria, where we learn to live. Tell your neighbor, learn to live. Don't forget that. It's very, very important for us here at Baze University. It's on this note that I will now invite for welcome address the founder and chancellor of Baze University for his welcome address at this 7th inaugural lecture. Please help me welcome distinguished Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, PhD, FSAM, to deliver his welcome address. Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. Kabiyesi, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, distinguished members of the Governing Council, principal officers of Baze University, members of the Senate, members of staff, students, alumni, guests, ladies and gentlemen, also distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press. It is with great pleasure and deep sense of pride that I welcome us all to the 7th inaugural lecture of Baze University. Today marks an important moment in the continuing story of our university. It is an occasion that celebrates the highest ideals of academic life and reminds us of the enduring purpose of a university as a community dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge, the advancement of scholarship, and service of society. Inaugural lectures occupy a special place in the traditions of universities across the world because they provide an opportunity for distinguished scholars to present the intellectual journeys that have shaped their respective careers, to share with the wider community the ideas, questions, discoveries, and reflections that define their contributions to knowledge. Every university is ultimately measured not only by its buildings, programs, or infrastructure, but by the quality of scholarship it produces and the ideas it contributes to society. Universities exist to ask difficult questions and to answer them, challenge assumptions, expand the boundaries of knowledge, and help society further understanding itself. It is through occasions such as this that noble responsibilities become visible and tangible. This afternoon, we gather to celebrate one of our own scholars, Professor Abiodun whose work has made contributions to the field of communication. media studies, migration studies, identity, belonging, and the evolving relationship between technology and society. His scholarship has engaged some of the most pressing questions of our time, particularly those concerning how human beings negotiate movement, memory, identity, and social connection in an increasingly interconnected world. The title of today's lecture, How Your Village is Following You. Mobility, memory, and the mediated persistence of belonging is both intriguing and profoundly relevant. It invites us to reflect on a reality that many of us experience but do not always pause to examine. We live in an age characterized by unprecedented movement across local, national, and international boundaries. We are presently more connected than any other period or era in human history. Yet, even as we move, our histories, identities, relationships, memories, and communities continue to accompany us. Today also presents us with a particularly unique and gratifying circumstance. We are privileged to witness our own Vice Chancellor in a role that predates his current office and indeed forms its very foundation. This lecture was already scheduled before Professor Adeniyi became Vice Chancellor. Despite his new role, he remains and remained a scholar, a teacher, a researcher, and an intellectual. The demands of academic leadership often draw attention to administration and management. But at the heart of every great Vice Chancellor is a commitment to scholarship and learning. This occasion, therefore, allows us to savor his contribution, but also identify with a scholar whose work has earned him a place among professors in this institution and beyond. I wish to extend a particularly warm welcome to the distinguished guests who have joined us from various institutions, our traditional institution, KBC, again, organizations, and communities across Nigeria and beyond. Your presence honors both the lecturer and our university. We are grateful for your support, your friendship, again, your fatherliness, KBC, and your participation in this important event. Ladies and gentlemen, an inaugural lecture is much more than a ceremonial obligation. It is an affirmation of the university's commitment to scholarship, an opportunity for reflection and learning. Above all, a reminder that ideas matter and that universities remain indispensable institutions for understanding the complexities of human condition. May I pause here to please recognize one of my own. His Excellency, Honorable Governor Emeka Ihedioha. Please, my brother. And forgive me, further recognitions. I can see Reverend Father is here. You're welcome, sir. He was my leader in the House of Reps and has a lot to say. It is therefore my singular honor and privilege on behalf of the Governance Council and the entire Baze University community to welcome us all most warmly to this memorable occasion. I wish us all a stimulating, enriching, and rewarding intellectual experience. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your support to these universities, and thank you for being part of this significant day in the life of Baze University. God bless us all. God bless Baze University. God bless and long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Please do give another round of applause for the founder, Chancellor, Baze University, His Excellency, Distinguished Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency, for those inspiring remarks and for your unwavering commitments to academic excellence and nation building. Your Excellencies, very, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned earlier, this is an academic event, and so
and very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, talkative. So thank you, talkative Tokwe, for doing a good job. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate your ovation. But I think that ovation does not really belong to me. And this is because for this person, apart from God Almighty, it's also the reason why we are all here. You know, it started an institution a little over 15 years ago, but prior to that time, it was already in his mind, and he painstakingly gestated it. And on account of that, we're able to sit here, you know, because of the foundation he laid. And I'm talking about the very cosmopolitan, detribalized, devout Muslim, exceptional, distinguished Senator Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. I'm going to be asking us, ladies and gentlemen, to please give him a standing ovation, you know, for this legacy he has left, not just for Nigeria, but also for Africa. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Most kindly resume your seats. And before I continue, I also want to tell you a secret. It's about a story of something that happened to me in December. You know, I had this secret admiration for my chancellor. I always admire his athletic frame. You know, so in December I said, okay, I'm going to be like him too. You know, when you are coming into this new year, there's a way you always make resolutions. You say, in the new year, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. So into the new year 2026, I said I was going to stop eating amala, begri, ewedu, and orishirishi. You know those things. And secondly, I said I was going to go to the gym every day because I want to resemble my chancellor, who has an admirable athletic frame. You know, 1 week after, you know, after running on the treadmill without anybody pursuing me, my knees started complaining. And I said to myself, what is done can never be undone. And like a popular politician used to say in Nigeria, if he didn't day, he didn't day. So I just resumed my Malagbegri, Ewedu, Adeniyi. So thank you very much, Chancellor, for being an all-round inspirer. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, this is an assembly of very distinguished, esteemed Nigerians. And I'm highly honored and humbled with your presence. My pleasure to recognize His Excellency. Yes, my Chancellor has recognized him, but of course, permit me to also recognize him. His Excellency, Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, who I have known for more than 30 years, you know. And of course, this is a man whose name has been written in gold, because you cannot talk about the evolution of Nigerian judiciary, the contests and content, without making reference to him. Congratulations, Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, for joining us today. And of course, my distinguished brother, somebody who is more than a brother to me, a brother and a friend for more than 3 decades. If you have him as a friend, you need no other person, you know, because he can be loyal to a fault, dedicated, committed, and continually helpful. Distinguished Senator Tokunbo Afikpiyomi, where are you, sir? Please stand up for recognition. I cited him earlier. He said, oh, it's at the back. God bless you, sir, for all you do. And of course, Managing Director of Federal Housing Authority, are you here, sir? Honorable Yetunde Ojo, another wonderful friend and brother that we met for the first time in England 15 years ago. Director General Bureau of Public Procurement, if he's not here, I know he should be on his way, because he assured me severally that he was going to come. And of course, I've cited Managing Director of Federal Medical Center, Director, Professor Saad Ali Abubakar. Where are you, sir? Managing Director of Federal Medical Center, okay. And of course, my good friend, DG Voice of Nigeria, Malam Jibrin Baba Ndashi. Thank you very much for joining us. Former Minister of Sports and also a presidential narrator, Chief Sunday Dari, are you here? My big brother and very senior colleague, Mr. Bayo Nanuga. He was supposed to be here. Okay, I'm recognizing him in advance. Country Director, DAI, Dr. Joaba. Are you here, sir? Okay, Managing Director, News Agency of Nigeria, former Managing Director, that is, I beg your pardon, Chief Aki Oshintokun. Okay, and my revered traditional ruler, Kabiyesi, Kadipelori, Kibata Pelesel, Ukere Akpelowo. Thank you very much. Chancellor, sir, Kabiyesi, I never invited Kabiyesi, but he saw it in the news that I was doing this, and he learned that I'm from his area, and he sent a message to me that he wants to come. Thank you, Kabiyesi, for your love. Former presidential spokesman, are you also here? Mr. Olusegun Adeniyi, a godfather friend for many years. Okay, and of course, another former presidential spokesman. He's online, okay, excellent. And Madam Garuba Shehu, thank you very much for honoring us with the prestige of your presence. Thank you, former Executive Secretary Neti. I saw you earlier, Malam Waziri Adio, Columbia University graduate, head of Agora Policy. Where are you? I cited you earlier, Malam Waziri Adio. Oh, thank you very much, sir. God be with you. Chairman Oil World and Transnational Energy Limited, Dr. Benga Olaipo Hashim. You sent a representative, Saradana, where you. Thank you, Saradana, for coming in. And of course, Tokpe has recognized Deputy Vice Chancellors, Principal Officers, colleagues, a parcel of professors, wonderful set of professors, carefully selected by the Chancellor, and this is a university. Maybe I will talk about this at some point where we are careful about recruitment. We do not suffer fools gladly. We are very careful about those who come and to impact ideas. And of course, if you see our professors, our lecturers anywhere, you should be rest assured. You need to be proud of them because they can compete with any other faculty anywhere in the world. Can we have a round of applause to that, please, ladies and gentlemen? And the very revered Reverend Father, George Ehusani. You're welcome, sir. I'm still waiting for the book, The Prophetic Church. Thank you for what you're doing for this country. My former editors are The Guardian, I'm sure you're all here, many of them legends of the written word. Kingsley Osadolo, Martin Soloja, if you're here, just let me see your hand raised up. And of course, Fred Owawa, Ohia Legbe, thank you, sir, for coming. And Mandi Ezeani, Chukuma Nwoku, all the respected others. Permit me, bear with me if I miss out your name, but of course, Mr. Fred's name will serve as a point of contact to the rest, to the remaining. Or the remainder, as the case could be. My other colleagues, senior colleagues, that is, Tunde Ikpimisho, a boss indeed, and a fellow of Nigerian Guild of Editors, and who is also a legend of the written world. Thank you for coming, sir, and thank you for all you do, for not making me to forget the village. But if not for you, I'll probably have forgotten the village, which I'm going to tell us how it is following us in the next few minutes. And of course, my other very distinguished esteemed senior, Mr. Eric Osaje, are you here? You should be here. Yeah, because you told me you were going to come yesterday. Okay, greetings to him in advance. Okay, my colleague, PhD in the PhD program in the University of Leeds, who is now a professor, respected professor of communication, who just stepped down as dean of a faculty in Ilorin, fleeing from Ilorin because of this. Thank you for your sacrifice. Professor Aziz Adeshina Lukman, where are you, sir? Thank you very much. God be with you. Consultant gynecologist, Dr. John Ekweadi, thank you for coming. Colleague in the tricky business of public affairs analysis, where I'm gradually and slowly signing off from. Professor Oke Kechuku and Dr. Sam Amadi, you all told me you were going to come. Okay, that's fine. My colleagues from the University of Abuja, Veritas, Bingham, Nasarawa, Nile, and everywhere else, thank you for coming. Thank you very much. God bless you. Okay, fellow Chieftain Scholars Alumni Group, I noted the presence of Hajia Santa Ali Said of NJC, as you hear. Thank you. Fellow ICS scholars, the University of Leeds Alumni Group, my schoolmates at the Ahmadu Bello University. I have spotted the Akogun himself, you know, a respected traditional title holder, Akogun Ishak. And of course, you also have an opposite number who is here, my big brother from the village that is still following me, you know. And of course, Chancellor Sir, he was also the former Director General of the NDLEA. You're welcome, sir. Otuba Ikumesho, thank you. God be with you, sir. And of course, where are my former colleagues in the coverage of politics in the days of yore? The National Association of Political Correspondents, I've cited them there, Abdujakwaya there, and of course, the other ones as well. My secondary school mates from the government secondary school at Baja, Lokoja, you're also here, right? Yeah, thank you. God be with you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm rounding up now, very slowly, very quickly. My kinsmen from my village, not in the sense in which some people are already thinking it, you know. I've also followed me here, you know, they are also here. Thank you for coming. God be with you. And of course, tennis philanthropist, your opposite number is not here, but he is here with his wife in all his glory, Mr. Obina Ofodum. Thank you very much. My pleasure. Emoside Ojo Babake, yeah, where are you? And those who have omitted, bear with me. And of course, to my loved ones, Doyisola, Oyidamola, and Oyikonsola, thank you for listening in where you are. My blood brother of the same parentage, Pastor Michael Adeniyi and wife is here. And the guests, Sandra and Kike, where are you? Yeah, thank you very much. God be with you. My wire friends and colleagues in the journalism trades, Editor-in-Chief of Conclave, Sufiyano Jefo, Mr. Mudupe Ashama from London, Double Chief Henry Ubolwe, yeah, okay, and of course, Hudiwa Executive Director, Comrade Emmanuel Ubiko. Thank you all for coming. Other members, notably members of my family, notably Mrs. Tinola Obafemi, Mrs. Abu, and sister, I cited you earlier, and Barrister Gbenga Ajayi. Thank you, God be with you. Other good friends, colleagues and associates, our highly cherished parents, guardians, and students, my students, present and former, respected members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please bear with me if I've missed out your name. I will do some remediation as soon as we realize this. My task today is to share with us like I said earlier, how our village is following us. Earlier on, I heard somebody said, I'm going to attend that lecture because Adeniyi is going to tell us how witchcraft they are following us, how my village people are telling us, are following us. I'm going to prove to you in a short while that that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, please. I don't have such powers. Okay, and the idea of the village here is not the village that we ordinarily see it. The village I'm talking about, I'm using the village as an anecdote for origin, the beginning point, the point of departure, the point at which all migration, all mobility, all movement begins. Okay, and of course it could exist at the physical and at the level of imagination. For some people who were born later in migration, in the distance, when they are talking about the village, they are talking about the village because they inherited it. They never lived there. They were told by their parents that they probably come from this or that village. So it remains at the level of their imagination. But it can still be very, very strong in them. And this is different from those who know the village in the physical. But the idea of the village here is that it is the point at which migration, diaspora begin. And of course, village is largely an ontology. How is it an ontology? It's an ontology because the beginning point, the point of departure is the knowledge that we have and that we take away to wherever we go, anywhere in the world. You cannot deny, as a growing up child, for instance, the knowledges that your parents told you about, the kind of upbringing, the kind of modeling that our parents gave us while we're growing up remains ingrained in us even until we probably leave this world. It is largely so, and that's why we talk about the village in anecdotal terms, as a point of departure, a point a point where migration technically begins as the case could be. But now we're talking about migration. So we're talking about migration. We are moving from the village, from the point of origin, from the point of creation or the point of birth. And what does that tell us? It means that mobility is involved, some level of movement. But in this context, we want to discuss it within the framework of migration. And of course, migration has differentiated, disparate narratives. The old concept, idea of migration and the new ones. The old one, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking about the days of old, where our forefathers were taken away, across the sea to go and work on plantations. And after that, we had colonialism. Then eventually we had post-colonial disruptions. But we're no longer talking about those old narratives. There are new dimensions of migration now, which I'm going to be talking about within the context of how we, particularly the youth, see migration as synonymous with progress. Many of our youths do not believe that there is faith in the system anymore. There's a deep-seated belief that faith, can only come if it is externalized. That faith can only come from the prism of Western nations. And of course, this is so deep-seated that it can be very, very difficult, to change the narrative, as the case could be. But should we just blame the youth alone? What about the elders, the elites? How many of us probably have faith in the Nigerian system? The power elites, without prejudice, also privilege Western exposure. And we also talk in terms of Plan B because of the increasing faithlessness in the Nigerian and the African system. Because of that, people think that if I want to live life and live it very well, I must have an alternative to Nigeria, to Africa, to Ghana, to Kenya, because we have been trying our hands at progress in many years, and we have not succeeded. So why not try the stable Western destinations? So even apart from these serious fundamental structural plans to resettle, what about, the fact that we largely externalize our hope? We think largely in the context of the West, being the better place, not just to live, but to live after. So all our patterns, our particularities are shaped after Western patterns. So we're permanently imagining the West as such that, when we travel sometimes, I'm sure you probably will have encountered some people that will travel maybe for one week, and they'll come back, they start speaking through their noses, right? If that is only the case, we could probably understand it. But I knew of somebody who went to Ethiopia and returned, and of course started pronouncing better as Bea. And when there was amazement around him, he told them that they probably don't know what they're doing because they are uncivilized, they have not traveled. That the moment they travel out of this country, they will see the difference between Nigeria and elsewhere. That Nigeria is backward. And of course, it leads us to the definition of the concept of abroad. The idea of people simply regarding traveling, any kind of traveling at all, particularly among the young ones, as being synonymous with progress. Then what about, I'm talking about the new dimensions of migration. The fact of our wives or our husbands, pushing the other one to emigrate, to move out of the country because there's no hope in the land. And overall, what emerges from the process are fractured emotions, because you see father of a child or children living elsewhere, mother living elsewhere. emotions are fractured, and of course, you have some rupturing of the social system, some transnational kind of family arrangement, which is largely disruptive to the traditional family values that we ever know, that we grew up in, as the case could be. Then what about the prestige of elsewhere? Thinking that our system, again, is too local, too uncivilized, and some level of external exposure. It's probably what we need to become as a people. That, again, will lead us to the question of virtual lives. Now, when people move, we're increasingly seeing people online and everywhere, becoming sole actors, agitators, people who think that only from the closet of their homes they can change the narrative of their country, that they can make governments, they can shift the political arrangement in their country, or they can bring about transformation. We're likely seeing them, and of course they are evolving to earn so many names that we are all familiar with. We call many of them influencers, on-air personalities, and they do not only reside in this, some of them are even online media owners. They're everywhere. That's the new narrative of migration, leading people to be much more creative, much more ingenious, much more involved in the business of social change. So ladies and gentlemen, what about earnings in the ether? Those days we only privilege the kind of job that we do outside. But these days we also know that earnings can happen in the virtual spaces. And there are so many people who are enjoying, who are earning a living, only working on the internet, as the case could be. Okay, foreigners sometimes regarded as value. I remember the story of a state house of assembly in Nigeria, and the members were just coming in from a recess. And the first day of resumption, they were busy telling the stories of where each and every one of them went to. There was no serious business discussed, but that one would say I was in London, the other one said I was in the US, and of course, that experience and many others has also led to what we sometimes regard as the culture of the bintu, because you'll probably be discussing in some circumstance now, if you do not make allusion to foreign exposure, you are likely going to be regarded as somebody who is underexposed. Sometimes we want to regard it as a neo-colonial kind of tendency and probably needing some level of decoloniality, but it is an observation. And of course, we cannot be judgmental of the process because it may not necessarily be our fault. If you look at our history of slavery, colonialism, and of course, post-colonialism as the case could be. But the argument we will continue to make is that, how do we navigate ourselves, from this mental entrapment, as the case could be, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, I have largely analyzed this in my last book with Macmillan, Hidden Narratives, Exploring Media and the Contestation of Place. And the next one is actually going to be on Roots and Network, which is also going to look not into the externalization of hope, but what happens with mobility within the African space when Nigerians move from their village to elsewhere. What is their experience like, as the case could be? And now, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I was just trying to harp on the question of migration. And the next one will take me to what I've also described as diaspora. Diaspora is a regular word, a word that we're very familiar with. But are we really diasporic? Are we going to say that we're a diaspora as a nation? Do we really have a diaspora? Are we like the Jews in America, the Hong Kongers in Canada, the Germans in Argentina, the Australians in this called London, the Chinese in Southeast Asia? Is Nigeria diasporic? Do we meet the courts? The argument is rife that we do not meet the courts because when we are outside, we are not necessarily bounded. We are still subjects of division. We are not as united as these traditional diasporas, as the case could be. But in any case, for the sake of World Bank classification, for the sake of development, it's okay, and the sake of remittance as well. It's okay if we continue to regard ourselves as diasporic. or that will have a diaspora and not simply a migrant population. So when people migrate, ladies and gentlemen, your excellencies, what do they do in the distance? Those days, we could say that when you move, it can be very difficult to trace you until someone in the village or someone in your origin or someone in your beginning point, travels to where you are. That's where they will know, people in the village will know what has become of you. But times have changed, and that's the point we're making. Times have changed. It has not just changed, but has become even very, very sophisticated, such that wherever we go, we leave what? Digital footprints. Okay, we leave behavioral traces. There are new geographies of belonging, and of course, these geographies also help us, to move with our villages. We are moving. We are not carrying the village along. We're not carrying the villages along. We're not carrying the points of departure along, but it is moving with us at the level of memory, at the level of identity, at the level of belonging. So we're in an age, ladies and gentlemen, where departure has ended. Departure has ended because, there's a matter of absence and presence, yesterday and today, okay? Because of instantaneous means of communication. And the fear is that this sophistication will continue because of the tendency of capitalism to grow. Capitalism can be very, very frenetic. If you look at the history, from the age of slavery or from the Industrial Revolution up to the point that we are in, we know that it can be very, very competitive. And when it's competitive, it's about the generation of ideas, to outwit the other. And when this is happening, of course, innovation will be the hallmark. This is an age that now we're talking about the telephone. We are presently holding telephones. People who call us will know. But we are moving into an age where we may not need to be holding these telephones anymore. Maybe some kinds of things will be injected into us, and through that we'll be able to communicate. Or probably I will put some things in my system, and by the time I look at the eyes of my chancellor, probably knows what he wants me to do. And again, if you look at it from the perspective of the phones that we are using, if your phone is technically 6 months old, it probably looks like an old phone. Okay, every day we see innovations around it, and it is continuing, and it's not going to stop because courtesy of capitalism. But when we're talking about living digital footprints, living in the digital space, beyond that belonging that we are seeking in those processes, it's also the evolution of identity. And when identity evolves, we put it in classes. There are categories, there are classifiers that we use to define identities. Of course, age is there, class is there, religion is there, gender, education, and politics. Okay, all these are embedded in the discourse of identity, but do not forget what I said, ladies and gentlemen, that identity is coming from our strive for belonging, and belonging is coming from our existence in the digital space, and our existence in the digital space evolve, from the time we are leaving the village, where we are leaving our point of departure, and at that point of departure, we begin to find belonging. But there's an object for us now to discover that belonging, to discover our identity, and that object is the digital space, as the case could be. Put it in another way. What about the physics of movement? We have communication helping us to lubricate how we relate now. And the physics I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is not a theoretical classical physics, where we talk about Archimedes' principle, and we say when it is wholly or fully immersed in the fluid, it experiences an upthrust, which is equal to the volume of the fluid displaced. That's not the one we're talking about. I'm talking about the fluids, that exist, and smoothing the relationships between people. The fluids that acts as a lubricant, the kind of lubrication that cartilages do to human joints, the kind of lubrication that grease do to joints in motor car, That's the one I'm talking about. In communication now, we now massively have the sophistication of communication representing those cartilages, representing the grease, becoming lubricants of human interaction. And the argument I'm making is that this will grow in sophistication. And when it grows, of course, we can beat our chest and say we're increasingly, growing our ability to deal with nature, and of course to enhance fulfillment, to engender happiness, boost self-esteem of citizens across the world, as the case could be. Overall, the village follows us patiently through the digital space and through some specifics, which I'm going to mention, and they include the ordinary things that we carry about. Through our telephone, WhatsApp, social media, diaspora networks, digital memory, and all of that. But there's a danger ahead, and that danger is creating anxiety now, and that's the artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence. I'm getting towards the end now. I'm going to stylishly ask you to give me a round of applause so that I can take a breath. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So we're entering a difficult era, the era of artificial intelligence. Okay, and it's upon us, becoming more and more sophisticated as well. Again, something we cannot avoid, but something we are afraid of. But we do not need to be afraid, because there's no invention that has come in the world that didn't create anxiety. When the aeroplane came, we were scared of it. We doubted the Wright brothers. Okay, but of course, the aeroplane as well. We know how sophisticated it has become. Sophisticated that it can hardly crash. It can hardly crash. There are three reasons why an airplane can crash. Mechanical error, act of God, or human error. But if you take the percentage of crashes across the world, they are largely caused by human error. So, which means that science is increasingly trying to ensure that, they improve that mechanics called the aeroplane. And what's the point here? This was a technology that we doubted at early stages, but of course, science has increasingly continued, has not rested in trying to enhance it, to make it better. So why are we doubting artificial intelligence? Imagining that whatever downside we see around it, cannot be remedied going into the future. And what are the downside? Of course, manipulation. All kinds of manipulation, of course, the tailing of algorithm, which can be problematic, but we can not necessarily hide, because we need to only realize that, we're in a world of surveillance, If you want to hide, then of course you remain, you're not in this world. It can be very difficult to hide in the digital space. The only thing that we preach is that, and the only thing that scholarship is preaching is that we need responsible, ethical use of AI. Once that is guaranteed, I think we are free, we are good to go, ladies and gentlemen. Then, of course, the crisis of misinformation, the crisis of disinformation, malinformation, or, like WHO would like to add, infodemic. These are the downsides of the revolution in communication, but there are downsides that we can definitely remedy. And those downsides are not enough for us to put them down, or for us to think that we will not embrace them, And if we have to embrace it, if we know that the digital space is critical to our existence, and what more do we think that government can do? Are we really addressing it enough? If we know that our village, our beginning point, is following us, what is the governance context of that space? Is the digital space being addressed properly? Are we not paying lip service to it? Do we not think that there should be a conscientious effort towards growing the security within that space? And of course, naysayers might say that even physical security, we've not been able to guarantee it. I understand. But of course, we can simply realize the digital space as another dimension of our life that is completely upon us as human beings. And if you take a census of this hall now, practically everybody has a mobile telephone. And if you have a mobile telephone, you are definitely exposed. You are definitely living in an open society because you can be network. You belong to a network space, a network space that is completely open. At the end of the day, you may only be saying that God help me, do not let me get into trouble, as the case could be. So, against this realization, I'm concluding now. You never really leave the beginning point. You never really leave your village. It follows you, and continuously too, because memory travels, identity persists, data remains, origins endure. The village I'm talking about has nothing to do with place. It could be Lagos, it could be Kano, it could be Zaria. It's not the location, it's the beginning point. Okay? And the village is more than a place, like I said, it is an identity. The technology has made the village portable. The village is flexible, it is movable, it is right in our pocket, it is in our wallets, it is in our head, in our memory, as the case could be. Migration no longer ends belonging. Departure has ended. Technology intensifies and reconfigures belonging.
Her name is Omotayo Juliet Oloda Baturi, and she speaks Hausa. She was born in Yola. She's been with us for 16 years now. So, go and greet your granddad. Majesty, I have taken that promise. I have taken that promise, but I will ask for it maybe in kind. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please never underestimate intellectual discourse. Please, I don't know how to overemphasize this. First of all, I want to use this word. I am blown away by the fact that there is a Nigerian culture that has a calendar. I mean, do you know how important this is? Do you know how important this is for us to discover? Well, I can imagine that the caliphate or the emirates before the caliphate and the Kanem Borno Empire quickly adopted the Muslim calendar because it came very, very quickly. And I know that the Benin Empire was more into science, technology, and creativity. And there is untold damage and pilferage of our heritage that was done at that time, not only in Benin. The libraries in Cairo, it was not for nothing that they were vandalized and everything taken. It was not for nothing. The institutions in Morocco, in Northwest Africa, in Morocco and Fez in particular, that were vandalized and artifacts taken away, which brings us back to that issue of arrested development of Africa. But it is unprecedented, and if there's anything I got at this lecture, in fact, in a very long time, is to discover that there's a Nigerian culture that had a calendar. This is huge. This is huge. In Western Hemisphere, Maya, Aztec, and Inca civilizations had. The Druids, you know that story around those stones, Stonehenge. They also had theirs. And of course, from the Far East, before Confucius, Mesopotamia, the Chinese calendar, the Indian calendar, but I am saying now, if we can hear from one of our royal grandfathers that there is a culture. In fact, what have we been waiting for? Ministry of Information and Culture, what have you been doing, for God's sake? There is a Nigerian culture that has a calendar, and we've been quiet about it. Baze University would not allow this to go untouched. And I am opening the floodgates. Whoever wishes to research into the Nigerian calendar, I have dedicated 25 million naira for this. I mean, sometimes we don't know what we have. And that is why the lecture, that we leave the blessings and we go somewhere to become slaves. Wealth is here in Nigeria. Peace is here in Nigeria. If I may use the word, enjoyment is here in Africa. I mean, the food is better, everything is better, but let me not get carried away. Again, I said, please never underestimate the power of intellectual discourse. The technology that our VC was talking about, I remember that before now, I had also made attempts at some intellectual work. You've heard cryptocurrency. Have you ever heard of crypto nations? I think in the next 20 to 25 years, we should start thinking of crypto nations coming into effect. And this is not a joke. You could live in any part of this world, but be a citizen of a crypto nation. When it begins to happen, please remember that Professor Adeniyi instigated an intellectual thought in which I said, let us begin to think. You are here in Abuja, but a citizen of some country who is responsible for your security, for your peace, for all that. Please, Nigerian government, don't allow crypto nations to be better than us. I don't want to talk too much, please, but it's always exciting when I come across intellectual discourse. I have more points from what he said and from what His Majesty submitted. I have so much to say. I mean, they have sparked a great deal of thought. But yes, this is what a university is about. We have just discovered something that is great. It will bring pride to Africa. And I am counting on everyone who has anything to do. Get off your desk, go out and research. Go out and add to knowledge so that we shall continue to learn to live. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Chancellor, sir, I believe I'm correct when I mentioned the village is following, because you have indeed showed that the village is now following. Please, another round of applause for the founder and chancellor. With this, as we conclude, I'll now very respectfully invite the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic, Professor Osita Ogbu, to deliver a vote of thanks. And immediately afterwards, we will have a quick photograph for the gentleman of the press. While he comes up, we recognize Channels Television, Nigerian Television Authority, Arise News, Vanguard Newspaper, This Day Newspaper, The Guardian Newspaper, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, Radio Nigeria, and Premium Times for coming to cover this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Tokwe. Good afternoon, everybody. We have listened to our 7th inaugural lecture delivered by Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. A food for thought. So much has been said. His thinking and his topic makes us believe that we live in a present that is very sublime, very transitional. We need to understand the present and also speak to the future. It's not easy in the age of globalization, where what you think is local has become global, and what you think is global has become local. So your village is following you. And like the Chancellor said, you can live anywhere and be a citizen of another country, and the country takes care of you. So it's a very difficult period. I don't know how we're going to get around it, but that is where we are. Having said that, I will now give the vote of thanks. A lot of things have been said already, but I will try to just summarize my own officially. Thank you. So the founder and chancellor of Baze University, principal officers of the university, our esteemed royal fathers, thank you for coming. Distinguished guests, distinguished professors, and members of the academic community. I reach out especially to Reverend Father Ihusani, who I've known for many, many years from Lagos. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished members of the media, on behalf of the university management and the organizing committee of today's program, it is my singular honor and privilege to deliver this vote of thanks at the conclusion of the 7th professorial inaugural lecture of our university. First and foremost, we express our profound gratitude to God Almighty for granting us the opportunity to gather successfully for this important academic event as scheduled. We extend our sincere appreciation to our esteemed Chancellor, distinguished Senator Yusuf Deti Baba Ahmed, for his support, and the university management for the unwavering commitment to academic excellence and intellectual development, which we strive to achieve in the university within the constraints of our environment. Our heartfelt gratitude goes to our inaugural lecturer, our colleague, our friend, our amiable colleague, amiable Professor Abiodun Adeniyi, very easy to work with, for delivering a thought-provoking and enlightening lecture. Your scholarly insights, dedication to research, professional experience, and valuable contributions to leverage have all come together today to greatly enrich us all today. We also thank our special guests, members of University Governing Council, principal officers, deans and directors, and other faculty members, our dear students, both postgraduate and undergraduates, alumni, friends of the university, members of the media, and all invited guests who honor this occasion with their presence. Finally, special appreciation goes to the organizing committee, Professor Bala Mohammed and his team, of which I'm supposed to be one, thank you, and all staff members whose hard work, dedication, and attention to detail ensure the success of today's program. You have all done well. As we conclude this memorable event, may the knowledge shared today continue to inspire meaningful research, meaningful discourse, innovation, and service to our immediate community and to humanity. Thank you all for your presence and support. I know you will honor our invitation when next we come. May God bless you, and may God bless Baze University. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Chancellor, sir, we'll now quickly take photograph before the recession for the gentlemen of the press. I invite the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, Right Honorable Emeka Ihedioha, Kabiyesi, His Royal Highness, and Distinguished Senator Tokunbo for the first set of photographs. Sir. Father is also invited for the first set. Thank you. Director General, thank you very much. We would have the other part of the photograph at the Senate building. We now rise as we prepare for recession in reverse order. First, we take, in reverse order, the Baze University anthem. Just one verse, quickly.
Baze University, right in the city of unity. Raise your banner with pride and dignity over the hills, the land and sea. Driven by excellence, hard work and diligence, and our reach is high above the sky. Shine on, Baze University, ever shining as the morning sun, marching on to glory. Learn to lead and learn to lead. Shine on, shine on. Baze University.
One verse of the national anthem.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongues may differ,
move recession in reverse order. The Chancellor leads in reverse order. Reverse order. The Chancellor first, Vice Chancellor and others. Distinguished guests are invited to the Senate building. Important acknowledgement of the Voice of Nigeria, which did pre-production, production and post-production of this event. Director General, very distinguished council member of the NIPR, Jubril Babandachi, is here physically in our midst. Baze University honors and respects you, sir. Thank you for your support. A bunch of keys were found on the floor. If it's yours, please come for it. Thank you. The next professorial inaugural lecture will be announced soon. Always a delight to witness Baze University inaugural lecture. Please allow the recession of faculty members, management, and very distinguished deans, directors, heads of departments, faculty of Baze University, Abuja, Nigeria. There will be another group photograph at the Senate building. Invited guests are invited to still join us over there at the Senate building for group photograph. Thank you.
At Baze University, education is not merely the pursuit of a degree. It is the cultivation of purpose, competence, and global relevance. Here, knowledge is applied, potential is refined, futures are engineered. Situated in Nigeria's capital, Baze University stands as a beacon of academic excellence, built on international standards, modern infrastructure, and an unwavering commitment to holistic development. From engineering to law, computing to social sciences, students learn in an ecosystem designed for innovation, collaboration, and critical inquiry. At the heart of Baze University is its faculty, distinguished academics and seasoned industry professionals drawn from Nigeria and around the globe. These are scholars with decades of experience, researchers shaping discourse, and consultants influencing policy. They mentor a generation equipped not only to compete, but to lead.
Baze is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
It is safe to say that we have led an honorable quality revolution in education in Nigeria.
The Baze University Hospital integrates medical education with real-world healthcare delivery. Equipped with advanced diagnostic technology and guided by experienced medical professionals, the hospital functions as both a healthcare provider and a practical training ground for future clinicians. Baze University is proudly multicultural and multilingual. Students from across Africa, Europe, Asia, and beyond converge here, bringing diverse cultures, perspectives, and lived experiences.
Je suis étudiant à l'université de Baze, deuxième année, où je poursuis actuellement des études de génie logiciel en ingénierie.
Ich studiere Medizin und Chirurgie an der Fakultät für Gesundheit und angewandte Wissenschaft.
أنا طالب في جامعة بيز أدرس في كلية الطب وأهنئكم بالعام الجديد.
Studying in Baze University is the best experience in Africa.
The best campus experience in Africa is right here.
It's a place that builds confidence, knowledge.
Baze University has the most diverse campus environment I've ever seen, and yet unity is so natural. Baze University is Africa's future.
The vision extends beyond Abuja. At Baba Ahmed University Kano, the education legacy is extended through academic heritage and strategic alliances. Baze maintains institutional relationships that strengthen educational excellence across regions, and now the horizon expands further. With the forthcoming Baze Aviation School, Baze enters the specialized domain of aviation training, preparing pilots, aviation managers, and technical experts for a dynamic global industry. During a visit to the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Kayamo, the Chancellor of Baze University, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, discussed plans for the establishment of a School of Aviation in Abuja, a national investment aimed at boosting Nigeria's aviation manpower and reducing dependence on foreign training. Beyond the classroom, Baze University cultivates character, leadership, and resilience. They graduate not merely with certificates, but with confidence, competence, and clarity of purpose. At Baze University, education is practical, excellence is intentional, diversity is celebrated, and the future is engineered with precision. Welcome to Baze University, Abuja, Nigeria. Here, we learn to live. At Baze University, education is not merely the pursuit of a degree. It is the cultivation of purpose, competence, and global relevance. Here, knowledge is applied, potential is refined, futures are engineered. Situated in Nigeria's capital, Baze University stands as a beacon of academic excellence, built on international standards, modern infrastructure, and an unwavering commitment to holistic development. From engineering to law, computing to social sciences, students learn in an ecosystem designed for innovation, collaboration, and critical inquiry. At the heart of Baze University is its faculty, distinguished academics and seasoned industry professionals drawn from Nigeria and around the globe. These are scholars with decades of experience, researchers shaping discourse, and consultants influencing policy. They mentor a generation equipped not only to compete, but to lead.
Baze is one of the highly rated universities in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
It is safe to say that we have led an honorable quality revolution in education in Nigeria.
The Baze University Hospital integrates medical education with real-world healthcare delivery. Equipped with advanced diagnostic technology and guided by experienced medical professionals, the hospital functions as both a healthcare provider and a practical training ground for future clinicians. Baze University is proudly multicultural and multilingual. Students from across Africa, Europe, Asia, and beyond converge here, bringing diverse cultures, perspectives, and lived experiences.
Je suis étudiant à l'université de Baze 2e année, où je poursuis actuellement des études de génie logiciel en ingénierie.
Ich studiere Medizin und Chirurgie an der Fakultät für Gesundheit und angewandte Wissenschaft.
أنا طالب في جامعة بيز أدرس في كلية الطب وأهنئكم بالعام الجديد.
Studying in Baze University is the best experience in Africa.
The best campus experience in Africa is right here.
It's a place that builds confidence, knowledge.
Baze University has the most diverse campus environment I've ever seen, and yet unity is so natural. Baze University is Africa's future.
The vision extends beyond Abuja. At Ahmed University Kano, the education legacy is extended through academic heritage and strategic alliances. Baze maintains institutional relationships that strengthen educational excellence across regions, and now the horizon expands further. With the forthcoming Baze Aviation School, Baze enters the specialized domain of aviation training, preparing pilots, aviation managers, and technical experts for a dynamic global industry. During a visit to the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Kayamo, the Chancellor of Baze University, Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed, discussed plans for the establishment of a School of Aviation in Abuja, a national investment aimed at boosting Nigeria's aviation manpower and reducing dependence on foreign training. Beyond the classroom, Baze University cultivates character, leadership, and resilience. They graduate not merely with certificates, but with confidence, competence, and clarity of purpose. At Baze University, education is practical, excellence is intentional, diversity is celebrated, and the future is engineered with precision. Welcome to Baze University, Abuja, Nigeria. Here, we learn to live. At Baze University, education is not merely the pursuit of a degree. It is the cultivation of purpose, competence, and global relevance. Here, knowledge is applied, potential is refined, futures are engineered. Situated in Nigeria's capital, Baze University stands as a beacon of academic excellence, built on international standards, modern infrastructure, and an unwavering commitment to holistic development. From engineering to law, computing to social sciences, students learn in an ecosystem designed for innovation, collaboration, and critical inquiry. At the heart of Baze University is its faculty, distinguished academics, and seasoned industry professionals drawn from Nigeria and around the globe. These are scholars with decades of experience, researchers shaping discourse, and consultants influencing policy. They mentor a generation equipped not only to compete, but to lead.
Baze is one of the highly rated in Nigeria in terms of product quality standards.
And it has made us understand that learning is all about three things. We learn, we unlearn, and we relearn.
It is safe to say that we have led an honorable quality revolution in education in Nigeria.
The Baze University Hospital integrates medical education with real-world healthcare